And as, of course, Mr. Teji Bindra mentioned, we have, of course, Vikas Khanna and Andrew Blackmore, and we talked about, you touched upon your movie, the Holy Kitchen series, and I believe it's great way to get a spin on this, because langar is an institution which is very much part and parcel of Sikh culture and Sikh religion. So tell us, how did it come to you to have this Holy Kitchen series? Because I know you have a great restaurant, Janoon, in Midtown Manhattan.
Thank you, Rani. I was waiting for this interview. As we spoke earlier, we were doing this. You're saying this is such a great idea. And it's something which became something because I'm so proud of, born and raised in Amritsar. When I would tell Andrew about Golden Temple, and they feed, I had no idea what I was talking about in a way that they feed trillions of people in the world, and I'm trying to exaggerate to show, because in my mind the magnitude is so large. And I said, when I eat that food, it's nothing to do with my physical hunger. Absolutely. It's something which is so spiritual to me. And he never could get a grasp of it. He's thinking, okay, I understand, but you sit everything. And as per our discuss, he's thinking, what a great subject. What a great subject to create brotherhood, to understand faith. And this was quite a little bit after 9/11, where I want to tell, it was like one of our journeys in which we want to tell people that who we were, because we want to write our own story. Andrew helped me to translate it, and we lectured at a few universities around the country about who Sikhs are. But ultimately there was nothing which was grasping our attention to that, we need to, if we are talking about this, let's show them. So I go home, I take a small camera and I start shooting and I bring it home.
When was this, a couple of years ago?
A couple of years ago. I go back home after 7.5 years, and my mother asked me, where do you want to eat? I said, first meal. I said, we'll go back to the same place, because we ate our langar, was my last meal in Amritsar when I came to America. And she was the one who was closest to me, and she said, Vaheguru, and she left me. And I came back and said, Mom, we'll eat at the same place. So we go at the Golden Temple, we meet after 7.5 years, we're sitting there, and it's like prashada, you have to, every time you have to, they don't serve you bread if you ask with one hand, because it's thanks to the God and to the divine. So we do that, and both of us couldn't stop crying about the idea that 7.5 years, the beauty of this is not just the food and the kitchen, it's the people, their faith. And next morning, I told Andrew, we went there, I called him and said, you should shoot it. It's a moment you'll never regret. And I didn't know we were making a movie or anything. I have no concept. So I had a small cheap camera. I started shooting with that in the Golden Temple. Everybody's so generous in spirit and everything. And then I met somebody who was so powerful, who changed my life. And she said, I'm not just feeding people. I'm feeding my son who sacrificed his life in 1971 war. So when I feed you, I feed him wherever he is. So she sees her son and everything. I said, this is emotion. This is so powerful. This is us. This is our social security systems of our country and our culture. I come back home, I show the documentary to him, like whatever I had shot. And we are just taking it casually. He's emotional. He's crying. He's like, oh, I've never seen the planet has this beauty. And we show it to Mr. Bindra at my place. Very bad quality. I'm ashamed to call him. I said, I'll eat first, because I'm ashamed of the movie, because it's very low moving camera. And 30 minutes, they were spellbound. This is, and everybody's wet as, this is me. And my grandmother used to do this. My family used to do it on Sundays. And this is us. I get a new camera. We go back. We shoot the whole thing again.
Wow.
Never regret a moment.
That was the seed at the beginning, how you started off. And as you mentioned, langar itself, it's like, they say it's not just what you're eating, what you're thinking while you're eating, who cooked the food, what thoughts the food was cooked. So langar always has this divine vibrations, those vibes are so spiritually, powered and charged, so that it becomes very divine. It's prasad, it's basically prasad. So, and you've captured that, I think. So let's take a look at Vikas Khanna's Holy Kitchen series, and it's a glimpse of what this movie is all about, because you're going to see it at the Sikh Art and Film Foundation as well.
Of the storage facility. Every morning there's a long line of trucks outside the compound. They are waiting to come in and deliver seasonal produce from their farms. Once the trucks are unloaded, the stores are brought in. The food comes from all over the world, not just India, and it is all cared for here. Every last bit of it is donated by devotees. Tons of flour is used every week. All of the rice and flour must be sifted before use, as breads and rice are consumed with every meal. The langar in the Golden Temple is probably the busiest kitchen in the world. A simple vegetarian meal is served to everyone who comes all day long, regardless of their faith or belief. I'm stunned to think that they feed up to 1 million people on some days. Simply an unbelievable number. Imagine making rice pudding for so many people every day. This area is just one of the several used for preparing food, and I was able to have my turn stirring the enormous pots. I have never made so much rice pudding at one time in my life. Roti is the bread being rolled out here, and it is a healthy whole wheat bread which is consumed with every meal here at the Harimandir Sahib. This is one of the many kitchens where bread is being rolled out and cooked on the griddle continuously. Anywhere I go in the kitchen, I hear the devotees chanting Vahe Guru in remembrance of the wonderful teacher, the creator of all. There is a line of people waiting to have their turn at helping. As busy as the langar is, and no matter how many people are being fed, there are still more people waiting in the line for their chance to perform seva. Performing seva here is one of the great events in any Sikh